Yes. So Shambala gatherings, it's a place to gather in spirit, in yoga. Started very spontaneously. Me and some friends were sitting up in the Himalayas having visions of how we wanted to live in Sweden. I was running a yoga center at that time in Stockholm together with some friends, and it just felt like it was time to create something where the yoga could flower more fully. Instead of being in the city with all those influences, we just felt like it would be great to start something out in the countryside where people can come for a little longer and not just for a yoga class. Because I see yoga as something so much more than just a physical asana practice, physical exercises. It goes so much deeper, and usually you need a little more time to experience that. So it seems like this place is holding the blueprint of something where people feel very much at home, and all the aspects of yoga are present, you know. So people can be here as karma yogis and helping to run the place, and people come as participants for retreats or trainings. We're having more and more of trainings, different teacher trainings. So yeah, there's many different ways to be here. Yeah, it's funny how it started, because me and my friends, we had just come home from India, and with this beautiful vision in our hearts, no practical ideas how it could manifest. So we just went out to my summer house in the archipelago, and suddenly a friend that we had met in India called and said that there was a place that seemed like what we were looking for. So this place came up. It was actually one of the old fishermen who is fishing on this lake. He knew that this was empty, so he told our friend, who then told us. So it was not a place we were looking for, it just came to us very spontaneously. And it has been many things before. It's been a hostel, it's been a school for forestry, it's been a refugee place, it's been a place where many people have gotten married, and yeah, and now it's a yoga center. So we have one main building with a yoga shala, the main yoga shala, and a kitchen and a dining hall, which also has a beautiful deck down towards the lake. That's where we spend a lot of time eating and just being in the sun. And then there's one building where everybody sleeps, which is also a little library where we are now. And then there's a volunteer house for about 7 volunteers to sleep. And then a little private house for me and my girlfriend. And then a little hut also out in the forest here that my brother put. So there some teachers can stay also, to have their own space. Yeah. And then there's a small yoga shala also, with another teacher room and a treatment room also, where we give massages and craniosacral therapy. Yeah, I get to really multitask here. So I'm taking care of the gardens. We're growing organic salad and spinach and some other vegetables. And I'm also the handyman. I never thought I was like the handy person, but here I'm the one that, you know, fixes things with the buildings, and the grass cutter, when it breaks down, I'm the one fixing it, and yeah, taking care of the grounds and the buildings. And you know, I see myself also as having the job of the space holder. So holding space for the teachers, for the volunteers, and for the guests that come. And I love to paint, so lots of the paintings that are up on the walls I've done since we came here. So usually a few paintings per year come, so it's kind of a constant exhibition that is up. And what else do I do? Yeah, jump into the kitchen sometimes, and we have a kind of a spontaneous way of cooking, but there's some recipes that have flowered through the years that we keep on coming back to. And so I spend some time in the kitchen, I do the shopping. There's many little things. So many people, when they think about yoga, they think about the physical aspect, the asanas, that practice, which is a beautiful, important practice to open the body so that the spirit can express itself more fully. But there's so many other aspects of yoga too, so we like to bring in those parts as well. So we had a beautiful teacher last weekend called Prema, who is an incarnation of Bhakti Yoga, which is the yoga of devotion. So during that weekend there was a lot of chanting of sacred sound vibrations, mantras that come from the Vedas, and different ceremonies to honor the spirit that lives in everyone. So she had a beautiful weekend, partly in nature and partly inside. And parallel to that, a wonderful teacher called Magdalena did a yin yoga retreat. So that's another thing that's becoming more and more popular. The more soft part of yoga that is very meditative. So it's very far from just a physical training, but it's sinking deep inside our bodies and opening up tensions that have been held for a long time. And she also went with the group into silence, so part of the retreat was in complete silence for people to really connect with themselves on a deep level. So Midsummer is a colorful, beautiful mix of things happening. It's going to be a acro yoga retreat, so kind of an acrobatic form of yoga that is a lot of fun, very playful. It's a way to connect with our bodies in a more playful way than sometimes the more serious types of yoga. And parallel to that, we're also going to have kind of a traditional midsummer celebration, trying to go back to the roots of the pagan way of celebrating midsummer. So quite a ceremonial space, and then also some different yoga teachers are coming to share. Sky is gonna have some classes, and there's gonna be some pujas, means some sacred ceremonies going on. So it's gonna be a beautiful improvised 4 days of celebration of one of the most important days in Sweden. This place seemed to hold a kind of a blueprint for people of all kinds to feel very at home. So it's not a place for only a certain type of already initiated yogis, but it seems like everybody can feel at home here. Yeah, so I think that's all.